Welcome back to Kudos' Kismet. I'm going to walk through some of the first matches in the quarterfinals in E-League and what I'll be betting on today. So my last video I talked about my betting strategy and kind of the Kelly criterion and how I come about my bets. If you don't know that and you haven't seen it, check it out. It'll kind of make more sense in the video today. Okay, so walking into the first matchup, we have SK versus Dignitas. SK current odds right now minus 250. Dignitas right now sitting at plus 180. Going to give a little bit of insight into both of the teams right now, and then I'll talk to you about the pick band. So SK, kind of a disappointing run at IM Oakland. They did make it to the finals, but that was the last time that they have played. That was obviously in Oakland, California. They take a flight over to Atlanta, and they're playing in E-League, so there shouldn't be any concerns on jet lag or anything like that. Dignitas, on the other hand, have been playing some online matches and played in the DreamHack Winter Zowie. So that was over in Sweden. I was watching, I think it was Stewie2K's stream, and he was saying that he was super jet lagged right now. So the guys from Dignitas, they may be a little bit jet lagged. I don't think it'll be too much of a concern. It usually isn't, but it's just something to note that SK is probably just practicing boot camping, getting ready for this, where Dignitas kind of couldn't really focus on it as much. Going into the maps, so SK, their permaban as of Oakland is Nuke, and I think that they will stick with that ban because Dignitas is so good at Nuke. That opens up Cash. However, Dignitas doesn't love Cash too much. Mirage is looking good. They're Dust 2. They've been 6-0 their last 6 performances SK has, so that's good. Their Train obviously is godlike, and their Cobble and Overpass are their remaining maps, which they are strong at. Overpass has fallen off a little bit. Cobble's fallen off a little bit as well, but they're still strong on it. Dignitas, on the other hand, don't play Cash too much. They're Dust 2, they're 8-5. Mirage, they have a losing record. Nuke will most likely be banned. That's their best map. Train, they're 1-3, so I see them banning that against SK. They're Cobble, they're 15-12, and Overpass 12-7. So this is kind of one of those matchups that I find interesting because their bans are the strengths of the other team, so it really comes down to who has the better map pool, and in this case I feel like SK has the better of it, especially considering traveling and just being prepared for this tournament. So I see SK banning Nuke, I see Dignitas banning Train. SK, I'm guessing in my scenario that I ran, I think that they pick Mirage on this. I think that because the map will be open. SK has been playing it quite recently, and Dignitas has a losing record on that. They just lost, I think it was a double overtime to Kingwin, who I don't have ranked as a very high team. So that kind of tells you about their Mirage performances. So I think it's Mirage. I think Dignitas, this is where I kind of get stumped, right? Because any map that I see it going into, I just feel like SK would be better suited for it. So Dignitas, I think they could pick Overpass. I think they could pick Cobble. I think they could even pick Dust 2, just because it's more of a fraggy map. Maybe get Cajun B working and Magisk. But honestly, the map veto process, I think Mirage is a win for SK, and then all of the other maps, SK is in at least a 60% favorite. So I won't go into too much what I think the maps will be. I think Overpass, Cobble, or Dust 2, it's going to be a combination of those three. So given my SK odds of minus 250, or EU odds, that's 1.4, I'm capping this at least 82%. I feel like I'm being very conservative with that. The only reason that I'm not willing to go over that is Dignitas is one of those teams that just has a really high skill cap, and they have shown us before that they can create these upsets. And all of the maps, while SK is favored, I'd say 60 to 70%, that still gives Dignitas a fighting chance in this match. I think if they come willing to play and SK has a little slump, they could steal it. Still, though, I'm giving it 82% right now. Given my Kelly criterion, which I went in the last video, I'm going about 15% on this. I think this is pretty strong for Dignitas, or excuse me, for SK. Let me amend that. I'll probably go about 10%, 10 to 15%. We'll see. My math is telling me 15%, so that's what that is. Okay, so the second matchup that we have here, I'm looking at Nip versus Astralis. This is the Wednesday loadout. So Nip we have as a minus 135 favorite and Astralis at minus 105. I've seen them fluctuate a little bit, so I've seen Astralis taking the edge a little bit. I've seen Nip taking the edge a little bit, so it's fluctuating roughly about even. Looking at the pick ban phase, so I see Nip banning Train. The reason I see this is Astralis proved to me that they're a pretty strong Train team. Historically, they have been good at it, but they just lost 16-14 to SK, who is the best Train team in the world right now. I don't think Nip wants to play around with that, so I think they ban that outright. I think Astralis then goes to their Cobble ban. Nip is a good team on Cobble, and that's Astralis' permaban. Astralis doesn't play much cash, so I see Nip picking cash and winning that. I think that's pretty favorable in Nip's favor there. And then I think Astralis picks Mirage. It seems like a map that they've been going to quite frequently. They're 4-2 on the map. I'd say it's statistically, I guess it's their third best map behind Train and Overpass, but they've been wanting to play it. They've been a Mirage team for a while now, so I think they pick that. Nip 10-6 on the map, so not quite as strong as Astralis, but I do think they still have a chance to take this in 2. Going to the final maps, I see a ban on Dust 2. That's by Nip. 11-8 on the map overall with their 5. It's also a map Astralis kind of still figuring it out. Pug, frag heavy map. I think Nip doesn't want anything to do with that. Then I see the ban on Nuke. The funny thing is neither team really plays Nuke, so Astralis is 2-2 and Nip is 2-1. Most recently just losing to Envious. So I think the teams here play chicken with the Nuke ban and leave it to the final ban here. So I see banning Nuke, and I see the decider on Overpass. Astralis 5-2 on the map, and Nip 12-6 on the map. I see Nip taking this if they don't take Mirage. Haven't looked at the math yet because I just want to go through overall, but I think this will be a close map or a close match. I think the reason why I will go with Nip on this one is just because I think that cash is so heavily in their favor, I should say. So I don't see them losing cash there. They'll have the 1-0 lead, and then it's up to Astralis to basically 2-0 Nip. So I'm guessing I'll put around 7%, 5 to 7%, I'd say, just because I feel like Nip kind of has that gimme match. But for right now, I don't know exactly because I want to look into recent performances, look at their hours played, look at their Twitters, that type of thing, see what their mental state's at. But I'm not going anywhere close to 10% on this one. I think it's going to be a close match. So we'll say for now 5%. Those are my predictions for day 1. So just to recap, I have SK taking Dignitas. Bigger bet on that one, feeling really confident about that. And then the second match, not as confident, but I'm going to edge it to Nip Magic.